Welcome everybody to this year's Ancient Cave Summer Event Fatal Blowout 2024 Finals and Wildcards Day. This is the final day of the event and it's going to be a big one. We've got some epic class runners bringing their absolute best to make it through what I've been told behind the scenes are going to be some of the most trial-heavy, arduous challenges that they will have ever faced. So hopefully we're going to have everything proceed nice and easily and we won't have to worry about competition struggles, and hopefully we'll see a bunch of jelly kills and all the stuff that everybody wants to see. As a quick reminder, this is day 3 of our big event. We have 4 racers in each round. Eve, Traffic Talks, Voodoo's, and Mike. You'll see on the left side of the list are our wildcard runners. The advancement of Mike came from previous performance in which the highest scoring non-wildcards advancement position was filled by him. So he'd been waiting since the very first round with his hot seat extra hot, waiting to see if he would get knocked out. As a quick reminder, the point structure of this event is a little different compared to what previous events have been. This year, our wildcard event usually would feature a gimmick where there's some type of rule or point difference or pre-selected team. This year, because the wildcard round is, from what I understand, going to be exceptionally tough, we're just going to see what our runners can do with just a straight, difficult challenge. As a quick update for those who are not aware, the rules for the event are as follows. You can take up to 2 hours to do your individual run. You have to start the battle before 2 hours runs out with the final boss of the Ancient Cave in order for your run to count as complete. You can earn points by doing unique things, such as bringing a unique party that is a party composition that is not standard any percent, and that is unique from all other runners' combinations. All of this information is kept in secret until the run actually starts, so we won't actually know who's earned this point yet. We also have points based on certain objectives. We call these gambits in the event, and we have points based on finding specific items. The item points are a lot more easy to understand. These are such as finding a Cancer Hydora or Gorgon Rock, obtaining a fruit, whether it be from a chest or found as an enemy drop, having a character fully equipped, including a ring and a rock, the rings, of course, being very difficult to find. We also have points for how many miracles are owned after the final battle, and for how many blue chest items you have after the final battle. This means players are encouraged not to feed their blue chest items immediately if they have a blue chest item that can't be used, such as if they brought everybody except for Salon and they discover a blaze sword in a blue chest, which is only equipable by her. Do note that all of these item points are only awarded after the jelly battle, which means if a runner dies on their way to the jelly, then these points are effectively forfeit. As far as the gambits go, we have runners who will be placing bets on what it is that they'll be doing. If they are to make it to a particular floor, or if they are able to feed their capsule monster to a particular level, or if they complete any of the other objectives, such as reaching level 31st, having the lowest level at a jelly kill, or being the first person to defeat the jelly, they'll be able to earn twice the amount of points that the gambit value here is set as. However, if somebody else does it first, or if they do not do it at all, they will lose that many points. So for instance, if Eve is the first person to defeat the jelly, but she has a different gambit selected, she will lock that point out for anybody else who has selected it, and that person will not be able to earn the I'm a speedrunner at 6 points. The final point structure comes from general progression and the defeat of the jelly itself. We'll see our runners trying to make good time by going fast, and ideally, if they make it to the jelly battle, if they make it to the final floor and finish the event first with the jelly battle cleared by 1 hour and 30 minutes, they'll earn 1 point per every 3 minutes in which they've exceeded the time. And also for every so many floors that they've reached down, they'll be earning up to 5 points per 10 floor increments. Also, if they score a jelly kill, that is worth 50 points. If they score a jelly kill with Tia or Salon in the party, then they earn an additional 5 points. And if they have an M form capsule, then they earn an additional 5 points. Noting that Darby and Flash cannot be speed fed to their M form. And also taking note that this one results in earning less points for having fruits, since you need to use at least the evolution fruit to get them to their M form. There's going to be a lot to think about for our runners, and it all starts at the very beginning with our runners Eve, Traffic Talks, Voodoofs, and Mike. Handling commentary in this run will be Kodama and Real Critical, and I'll turn the mic over to them for this event.
Yeah, seeing one of the streams wrong? Top right one?
Seems like an offline stream.
That seems kind of important.
Probably just a connection error since everyone's here. That's supposed to be Traffic Talks screen. Probably going to be restored in a second anyway. Yeah. Welcome, everyone, to what promises to be a very exciting wildcard round. Welcome, Kodama, as well. Good to have you here.
I was looking forward to a good time hearing this seed's really hard and not having to run it myself. I'm ready for this chaos.
Yeah, well, it seems like we got everyone, so do you want to do us the honors and do the countdown?
Sure. I don't know how to count to 3 though, so because I'm a cave runner, but let's give this a go. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Good luck, have fun, everyone. Yeah, and that starts us into a round that I think everyone is looking forward to for at least a week now.
Oh, we see Lexus. Oh, never mind. I thought we saw Lexus. I was going to be really excited. I was going to hype him up all run.
You saw Lexus for a very short time.
That's just, I guess no one likes Lexus. Man, I was going to hype him up so hard. I was going to have a bias.
I mean,
but yeah, you'll notice that
even though he's not in there.
Like, unlike a normal run where generally you skip the first floors, opening chests on the right away is good for multiple reasons. One, you just want to get as many resources and stuff as you can, but 2, you only have floors 1 through 10 to be able to pick up helmets, rocks, and jewelry. And you get bonus points for having everybody equipped, so they're probably going to be opening up a lot more chests on the first floors just so they can get those points.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, there is another very prominent reason is that we are running this in a de-randomized cave, which means that everyone's getting the same floors. And as we have tragically seen in round 1 of this year's failed Blowout tournament, if you miss an important chest, that's not really good for you. So yeah, these runners probably are also looking to open a little bit more than they would normally do. So if you're thinking, oh man, this one runner or 2 runners are going particularly slow, yeah, it might be a very calculated decision because you don't know what's in these chests until you open them. So you just have to open a lot of them, and that includes the first couple of floors, of course.
I'm just wondering about the mind games. They said it was supposed to be an especially hard seed. What does that mean? Are we going to have a really late healing spell? Maybe a lack of deadlies early on? I'm really curious to see what the seed has.
Yeah, Kriegus just dropped that and explicitly said that there is no further information, so I don't know. It could be fake for all we know, you know. It could be like a really easy seed, but yeah, we'll see.
Everyone's going to be afraid, but yeah, one of the things you're definitely going to be wanting to look for in these early fours is your healing spells. Your either a deadly sword, deadly rod, or fatal pick. Those are also very important. Those show up after floor 4. And yeah, finding those are the major items you want to find in the early floors, because the deadlies have an 80% chance to one-shot enemies, and healing spells, self-explanatory, you're gonna want those.
Yep, because every other resource of healing, like potions or miracles, they are limited. Miracles, of course, do gain you points, so you don't exactly want to use all of them at the very least. You gotta do what you gotta do, of course,
Firebird
but...
spell.
Yep. There's Dragon
Firebird
before,
is
Firebird.
really good.
Yep. Dragon's borderline useless and takes forever to cast, but Firebird takes out a lot of enemies. Yep, as you said, very useful.
Yeah, if they are really nice in the seed, they'll find like a cheaper damage spell too for farming for cores. Using Firebird to farm for cores is extremely expensive really quickly, but it is also nice for getting a couple early levels in before you get the cores. You don't want to get one shot by cores, just a couple extra levels help. So you already see people using the Firebird spell to gain some early levels.
Yeah, definitely. And also, killing eagles is like the typical marathon safety enemy that you want to kill. I think every single runner in the round, if I saw that correctly, executed the same eagle encounter. So, yep, it's just a very good enemy to get early experience. And if you're very lucky, an eagle rock, which I haven't seen anyone get. And we should probably say the floors, the generation of the floors is randomized. Is not randomized, so everyone's been getting the same floors, the same chest contents, and so on. However, once you get in battle, so the amount of enemies you will find is the same, but how they act, how much damage is being dealt, and whether they drop items, that part is random. I hope that was, I I fumbled that a little bit, but I hope it was.
Yeah, I think as you said, the things that are not randomized, floor layouts, the chest, what's in what's chest. I do believe enemies that move random will still be random too. So
yes,
like that randomly moving enemies will move different for each person.
Yep.
That can be really important for enemies like bees or something like that.
Yeah, but just because that's a pretty important part, if one runner has like 4 red cores in a particular encounter, every runner will have the same 4 red cores. It's not like one runner is gonna have 4, one is gonna have 1. That's why I figured that's important to explain. But yeah.
That always, also means that someone could have, even though there's 4 cores, somebody could get 4 cores that run away, and someone could get all 4. It's just luck of the draw.
Yep. That happens. Of course, you're probably in that scenario, you're gonna be more happy with 4, but I think it's always a bit of a problem
if you don't get any.
Exactly. Like if you like, these runners are not watching each other's streams. Like, they're not supposed to know what everyone else is doing. So if you're in the position, you're getting the same amount of cores everyone else is getting. If you're getting an encounter with 4 red cores and they all run away, and then maybe you get another encounter with 4 red cores and they also all run away, you gotta think you're behind. Like, there's no way anyone else got that unlucky, right? I mean, there is a way, of course, but that's the way I would kind of think about it. And that's a bit of a special effect to the de-randomizer.
Oh, and we just found two important things. We found a deadly rod, which is, again, as we talked earlier, the deadly you want to find. It is the best one. You can give it to your fastest character, get in first. And more importantly, if you find a curse lifter, it is really good on the jelly because it does a fractional damage that you can use multiple times if you want to. We also saw in the blue chest the Gorgon rock, not to be confused with the Gorgon rock. The Gorgon rock does get pretty good stats and it has a pretty decent IP, but the Gorgon rock later on is not a blue chest item, and that is used for fractional. It's for new runners, that's easy to get confused. I got confused by that myself for a while. But it is still a decent find. If nothing else, it's 3 points.
Yeah, or exactly. I was about to say a blue chest item, either to feed to a capsule monster because they really like it, or it's a 3 point, or an attack boost. It's very versatile in that way in this tournament. Normally, you wouldn't be too thrilled to find.
I believe they're 1 point, correct? There are some enemies that also drop blue chest items, I believe, like the Twist Jewel is the first one that comes to mind. There's also the Gold Eye, which I doubt anyone's going to farm for that. But if they do manage to get the blue items from farming, that would also count as points. I'll be curious to see if they do that, because those are only 1 point, unlike the Cancer Rock or the Hydora Rock, which is 5. Was that a second Deadly Rock?
I'm not sure if there's 2 Deadly Rods, but I've seen a bunch of them. It's always hard to keep track of like what everyone
I think I
individually
saw
has.
2 on Travitox now.
Okay.
I didn't see what his party was. I don't know if he'll be able to make use of it or not.
Yeah, so they do get points for individual parties. I didn't yet check the party. But if anyone took either Tia or Selen as a 4th character, and I do see Selen for Mike at the very least, so yeah, if there's a second Deadly Rod, they're going to be able to use it. Oh yeah, Eve found the second Deadly Rod as well. Yep, you're right.
Which is gives another decision that runners are going to have to make, because without the curse lifters to use them, if they decide to equip the second Deadly Rod, that will make getting to the jelly a lot safer and a lot faster. But without the curse lifters to back it up, you lose out on a lot of damage potential on the jelly. So that's a decision they're going to have to make. Most likely they'll equip one whenever they need it, and they won't equip the second one until they feel safe finding a curse lifter, or if they get stuck in a lose-lose situation, which this is a pre-generated seed, so I don't think we'll see that as often.
Yeah, I wonder if we don't know the seed yet, right? So that should probably be mentioned. We, the commentators, don't know any more than you, the viewers, do. We also don't know what gambits these runners took. At the very least, I don't. And since we don't know the seed, we don't know how good 2 deadlies without a curse lifter actually is, because we're now talking 2 deadly rods. We're not talking deadly rod plus deadly sword. So the deadly sword is really bad to equip because the characters wielding it are slow, being Maxim. And it does take away the option to equip a silver sword or any other good finisher for Maxim, or even a Mythblade or an old sword. So the Slav Maxim is really powerful. If you run, really cool. So see, Eve has Tia, so she also has one of the girls with them. Equipping a second Deadly Rod to Tia or Selen is more doable because, of course, you want that extra weapon slot, but you can still always cast like spells. That character is never useless. So, yeah, I wonder.
Just another example of how the cave is still random. We just saw one runner get 3 red cores, while another one got 0 from the same encounter.
Yep, and that's gonna ripple. It's gonna be a ripple effect, down the line, because not getting cores, of course, in a tournament where you have 2 hours, it's easy to make up those lack of experience. But yeah, if you get 3 red cores, I mean, you only really want 2. The third one doesn't make too much of a difference, but yeah, you get a really good cushion of experience to work with. That's going to be very comfortable.
Really enjoying seeing just the different capsule monsters being used. In general, any percent runs, you generally only see Sully being used, or maybe Darby, depending on your party. So one of the things I like about this is people bringing in different capsule monsters, so that they can get the unique party points, as well as possibly going for the M form. Some are a lot easier to get the fruit for than others. Really like seeing the Zeppy, because that's what I went last round, so I have a slight bias towards that.
I think Zeppy is a pretty good choice here, yeah, since the default party with Darby and Sully does not yield you points, if I remember correctly. So yeah, Zeppy as the 3rd strongest capsule, probably.
Yeah, and the nice thing about Zeppy is he's very useful in Form 3. You don't need to get him to Form 4.
He's potentially useful, yeah.
All the capsules can be potentially useful. Sometimes you get to the gel and they're just like, I don't feel like cooperating today. Yeah. Cough, Sully. Cough.
Yep. I don't know, I feel like when Zeppy 3 hits, it's, whatever. You really only
Valor.
Want that energy wave. Nice. Okay, so we have a healing spell. We have 2 deadlies. If this seed is actually hard, then yeah, we got something ahead of us.
There's ninjas.
I'm really curious.
I'm calling it now. They're gonna have to fight ninjas. Ninja party room.
Yeah. At this point, I mean, the runners did get the heads up, so if I heard that and I'm now seeing this seed, I would be thinking it's potentially blue mimics, which is even more of a problem than ninja because you cannot back attack them. They do not have 50,000 weak points in their movement like ninja do. And yeah, they're just a really strong. So that's the first one, I guess. Once we reach floor 32, the blue mimic danger will be over, and that's going to be a threshold that I'm going to have in mind for the time being while watching this.
Blue mimics are terrifying. Like, especially if you get in a fight against 4. The thing about mimics is, unlike most enemies in this game that move when you move, mimics just stand there menacingly, just staring at you. Sometimes, if you're very unlucky, which I don't think the seed's going to have it, I could be wrong, they can just sit on top of the stairs and force you to fight them. I can't imagine it's going to be a seed with 4 blue mimics standing on top of a stairs. That would be a little too cruel, but you never know. They can block doorways, they can block stairs. They are just absolutely evil.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, if they have gotten the hint that it's going to be hard, they can theoretically XP farm and, open. I mean, they're going to open a lot of chests anyways. They have 2 deadlies, so I guess it's supposed to be. It's possible to handle it, and maybe it's supposed to be handling it. We'll see. I'm very glad I don't have to deal with it.
Oh yeah, it's almost like a sigh of relief that I got knocked out in my round, and now I just get to do commentary. And
nice.
This is arguably more fun than running. I'm enjoying this. I don't have to deal with the nightmare of having to fear maybe there's an Archfiend party room. I don't know.
Yep.
But I sure get to watch.
I hear you. Yep. So maybe this is a good part to talk about our runners here. Eli quickly introduced them, but we have 4 very prolific runners here. I'm very excited for this race. We have Eve, who does hold the 3-character world record, 3-character category world record. Very experienced runner, especially in terms of movement. I think there is no one in the community that knows more about movement than Eve does. And yeah, gonna be, if this is a movement challenge, then very optimistic for Eve, as well as Traffic Tux, who also has, I would say, almost equal knowledge, perhaps. Yes, grinding really hard for the any percent world record, aka the main category world record, and yeah, a very good runner. Machine, as some people call him. Then we have Voodoofs, who might seem as the only runner in this group who does not have a sub 1 any percent time. Might appear at first glance as, maybe not exactly the favorite. However, he has been putting a lot of practice into this cave in the past couple of weeks, and even before, like Failblood, in preparation. And yeah, I've watched the streams there. He has definitely improved by a whole lot, and I'm not counting him out in any way. And then, of course, there's Mike, who has been running this cave for a long time now. Also, a very try-hard, experienced runner. Not used to go slow with marathon strats, but go guns blazing through this cave. But yeah, definitely knows his stuff, and I'm very experienced what we're gonna see here. I'm very excited to what we're gonna see here from these runners, because no matter how hard this seed is, they're probably gonna handle it in a very interesting way. And this being a randomized seed, we're gonna see the same hard situations solved by all 4 of these very talented runners.
Yeah, absolutely. These 4 runners, any single one of them could have definitely been able to skip the wild card and just went straight to the finals. I know, like, Eve was basically just missing a jelly kill, and last week I ran against Traffic Talk, and he actually died on like floor 40 something, I believe, and still managed to, with like less than an hour left, get to the jelly and kill it. And like, these runners are absolutely phenomenal. You should all follow them if you enjoy cave content. 100%. They are all very good at this game.
Definitely. And I mean, I've been meaning to say something. This is probably a good time. That I'm very excited that in the past couple of weeks, There is a lot of cave runs lately. You were in that raid chain, Kadama. You know, when like 4 people in a row, some were raided, all cave runs back to back to back. Yeah, it's just a good time if you like watching Ancient Cave, if you like watching speedruns of it, because there's a lot of people running right now. I hope that's going to continue after Fail Blowout is over, and yeah, even when new people want to start running this, you know, now you have a very good opportunity, because if you start running and there's people watching your streams, there's people to help you out with what is a very knowledge-heavy game. So, yep. Helping you out, it's definitely gonna give you a head start.
There's definitely always more to learn in this cave. No matter how much you run, there's always more to learn. I also highly recommend following the Lufia 2 channel on Twitch, because there is, again, there's been people running this game pretty regularly, pretty much any time of day. You go on and they're not always somebody running, but there tends to be about any time slot. There's a runner that runs around that time fairly regularly. It seems like it's a good time to be a cave runner or a cave enjoyer.
Definitely, and I mean, I'm really happy to see it, because you know, a year ago or something, you'd be happy to see like a cave stream a
Decker
week.
Blade.
Oh, there's Decker Blade for Traffic Talks. So yeah, interesting. 28-ish, I would say. I'm not quite sure. Maybe
Man,
earlier.
I would love to find a Decker Blade that early in an actual any percent run. Yeah, the Decker Blade is the key item that runners are going to be looking for. It has an IP that takes out about 50% of the target's current HP, within a range of what, roughly like 1,000 damage or so. It's very important. It's very difficult to get a jelly kill without it. It's not impossible, but it's very difficult.
Yeah, and being able to find it this early, and what seems like not a very hidden chest, you know, I'm being hopeful that all of our runners can pick it up, and this time actually have the Deck Blade in their back pocket, because, as you said, it's a really important item. It's like half the jelly kill right there.
Does
at
Darby
least
already.
50% damage, so yeah.
Benefit of feeding Darby might be just to try to take some gambits away from people, or I don't know if Eva's missing any points at the beginning, so I don't know if Eve took a gambit herself. But the thing about Darby is, especially in floor 3, Darby gets the ability to sometimes, if he feels like it, one-shot an enemy, which can be really nice. But Darby is... The nice thing about Darby, he's very consistent at doing damage to the jelly, which is nice. Maybe Eve took Darby this time because just barely missed out on the jelly kill last time, and Darby's very good at that. The only downside of Darby really is if he gets hit, he will run away.
Yeah, and I mean, it's always going to be a gamble on taking the unique party. In this case, perhaps a bit unfortunate. Both Eve and Voodoo's. Wait, they do have individual parties, actually. Never mind me. Because Voodoo's actually took Flash. I also thought he took Darby. But nope. So that means everyone has an individual party here. Nice.
Yeah,
Darby,
I think I only
course,
saw
being
one
the
runner
much better
start
choice
with
than
0
Flash.
points. I don't remember who. I think only one runner had 0 points, so that runner probably took a gambit and it canceled out the individual party, I think.
Interesting. We'll see. As for Gambits...
Going for the M form, I think. Fighting the pugs, has a chance to give the flame fruit for Zeppy. That would be pretty exciting to see.
Yep. That's always good. Also for points, you know, even if you're not going to do it. The thing is, as you said earlier, you do want Zeppy at 3, at form 3. So unless you also get, what is the water fruit, charm fruit, to devolve it back to form 3, I'm not going to have it at the jelly.
You do get bonus points for having the M form on the jelly, though. So if you find the right items, it's still fine.
Yeah. Yeah, it's... Interesting. I guess, yeah, sure. If you get the items, then you can decide later on what to do with it, right? Whereas...
Yeah, based on whatever items you get. The big thing about Zeppy is just you can get a huge damage boost from Zeppy if he feels like it. I like Zeppy. I would like to see him in more runs, but in general, any percent, you just use Sully because he defends and defending's fast.
Yep, and as chat mentions, oh, very good movement here by Travictux, by the way, setting up these pucks for a 100% back attack. As chat is saying, we have seen a lot of great damage spells. I haven't actually seen all of them, but we have Thunder and Firebird, which really, is all you can ask for. Ice Walk is also really good if someone found that. There's a Deck Blade for Mike, for killing one particular enemy, the Hidoras, whose rock also gives points, and huge points too.
Yeah, a lot of the items that give big points are items that you're going to want to find anyway, because they're also just really good jelly kill items. The Cancer Rock, Hydora Rock, good points, and if you find them, you're happy anyway. Even if there wasn't points, you might farm for it, just because they let you hit multiple times against the jelly, and when you only have 3 turns to kill the jelly, that damage is very, very good.
Yep. Yeah, so for everyone entirely not familiar with this game or this cave, the final boss does not actually attack you, but you get 3 turns to deplete its about 10,000 HP pool, and that's the challenge. That's what people are looking for to get equipment for.
And if for whatever reason they can't find the equipment, they can always self-destruct the party, which will count as... The game will count as a kill for the jelly, but you will not get nearly as many points. It's what, I think 50 points for killing the jelly, and self-destructing I think gives you 5. So if for whatever reason you don't think you have a jelly kill, you can go that route, but any runner's going to want all those points for killing the jelly.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a second Decker Blade, or is that the same one? I think that's the second one.
Different one, yeah. Yeah, I mean, no use in the second Decker Blade, no matter what you do, so I guess it's just an additional chance for them to find
on these runners for not bringing a second Decker. Just bring 2 Deckers, why not?
Yeah, they should have. Why didn't I think of that? Yep, I'm reading in chat, this looks fun. It definitely is fun. I mean, the community is perhaps a bit small, but everyone who's in it really does enjoy running the game. Well, within reason. Within what RNG allows you to enjoy. We really do enjoy this game, and if you are into roguelikes, definitely check this one out, because for how early it released, it's a really good one. They really nailed it, and it really works great as a speedrun.
Yeah, we see Travatok just fighting the evil fishes now, just trying to get as many fruit as possible, even if the fruit's not useful to them, because it's extra XP, which is nice to help you survive against like annoying AoE spells. But those fruits do add up points over time. I'm not sure what the drop rate on the fruit is for each one. It's like, what, 6 or 10% or something like that?
I actually have to check it, but in the meantime, I will say that the charm fruit could be useful for him because it adds 1 bar to Peppy, but whether that's good or not is debatable. But it also allows him to devolve Zeppy from 5 back to 1. So yeah, there's no points for that. But
and now we're on mimic floors. Let's just hope there's none in the way.
Oh yeah, and charm fruit has a 7.5% drop rate. That's not pretty. Same for the flame fruit. So yep. That's what he's looking for. Got overtaken. The traffic talks got overtaken by Mike in the meantime, by the way. So I think Mike is leading. Really? By a smidge, though.
Oh, the blue cores stayed. That's always really nice.
Yep.
Any cores you find are huge XP, so you will not see any runners skipping those, especially when they have healing spells and everything they need. They want those cores.
Yeah, it's definitely a good point to mention. Yeah, they will be looking out for this. For any experience they can get, probably.
Yeah, on other floors, you might see them just grab the chest on their way to the stairs, but I imagine on the core floors, they're probably going to check every room they can to try to find one. It's always a risk-reward thing if you... because the faster you get through the cave, the more points you get. So on other floors where there's not as much stuff you might want to look for, you might not check all the rooms, but when there's cores involved, you're much more likely to check. They're that useful when it comes to XP.
Yeah, and as expected, both Travictux and Eve set up pugs and the evil fish in a way that allowed them to get a 100% first strike attack on them. It's a very difficult move in Parent to do so, which is why I'm pointing it out. But ever since that one community tournament where that first gave points, yeah, I think everyone who practiced for it really knows how to do it. So nice showcase.
I don't know how to do it. I'll be honest. I've never
That's
actually tried
fine.
setting it up, so it's actually
Yeah.
I need to take notes, learning from the runs. That's the nice thing about watching all these like really good runners is there's always more to learn. There's so much different movement and like things to know about every enemy in this game, how to approach them. There's a lot of improvising that will also help you learn. It's again, just the more you run this game, it seems like every time you run it, you learn something new.
Yeah. And I mean, there is absolutely no worries, you should have, because you don't need to farm these fruits for anything other than these tournament runs. So, yeah, I can definitely forgive you in the face of everything else that you could learn about this game for not knowing this one.
Let me see Eve trying to find these cancers, which have a lower drop rate for the cancer rock than I believe the ones later.
Yep.
But it is still a chance, so it's worth going for.
And Cancer Rocks also do yield points, so that's probably one of the best items to go for, is the Cancer Rock, Hedora Rock, and Gorgon Rock, because not only do they give you a large amount of points, actually, more than most Gambits, coincidentally, but they also help you with a Jelly fight, so, yep.
And they have Firebird, so they're relatively easy to farm as well. They're weak to fire, and generally the cancers and Garbos are not generally that dangerous. They do defend a lot, and they can attack, but their attack's not going to kill you like the Hyodoras can. So they're not nearly. There's the safer of the two to farm, especially if you don't have an ice spell for Hyodoras.
And we just saw Garbos on Treviktuk's screen in the upper right. The blue version of them, pretty much. The blue crab sprite. Oh, and there it is for Mike. Yep. So, none of them got a rock so far, I believe.
Last week, I don't think anybody got one either. I'm just hoping somebody gets one this time. Show that the drop rates aren't rigged. I haven't seen one yet.
I'm almost torn between, wanting for people to get them and not wanting for people to get them in order to have like an even score balance, So, I don't know. We'll see.
Imagine only one runner getting every single one, just getting like 5 for one runner. That would just not be fair. But it could happen. Yeah. That's the cave. You never know.
It could happen.
Oh, so Dragon. I think that's the second time they found Dragon. This seed really wants them to have Dragon.
Which I cannot really imagine what for. There's like 2 enemies that are weak to water. And we'll see whether it gets used. My bet is on no. It takes like 9 seconds or something to cast too.
It's so long.
I'm not. No one's gonna do it for fun. Let's put it that way.
Just watching as we're at assassin floors, which they're not as scary as ninjas, but they do have the ability to one-shot a party member, which is very annoying. But we see Travitok just pulling him away so that he can manipulate them around the room a little bit better, but they move so quick that they could just be really annoying. Yeah, and even then, just barely couldn't make it to the stairs.
Yep. Oh, he could though.
Mike on the same floor.
He can just run. That's nice. Mike's approaching in a different way. This is what I meant, Oh, no.
It looks like he's... Yeah, same way. Pull up to the top, try to go through the bottom, it looks like. Or attempting to do that. There we go.
Mm-hmm. Oh, but he does kill them.
Oh, okay. He's choosing to fight him.
50-50 setup, which is still good, Yep.
50-50 didn't work out in his favor, but it's always...
He tried, that's all you can do.
I would have done the same thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really like what Traviktux did there. I think that was pretty creative. But of course,
another Firebird
Mike's way of handling it is also perfectly fine.
So we've seen Dragon and Firebird twice each. I think we're just missing, Zap and Ice Bulk?
I've seen someone mention in chat that there's all main damage spells, so...
Oh, I must have missed it.
Main elemental damage spells, meaning Zap is probably still missing, but...
Just watching Verdoof get that Cancer Rock, please.
Watching that,
just watching that deadly rod just not wanting to do anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Otherwise, Eve still has a chance. I think everyone else. Oh no, Mike is still not on Garbo's floors. I'm seeing that correctly. Yeah, I thought. No, he almost.
No,
has to.
there. Mike is.
Oh yeah,
I think
he's gone.
maybe
Yeah.
1-4 behind Travitok. Very close behind. So.
Only Eve has a shot at getting a Cancer Rock now because these enemies do not appear any further down in the cave than floor, what is it, 37, I believe? Yep. Yeah, as soon as there is points awarded for these rocks, they're somehow not being dropped anymore. Or Garbos didn't know about the reduced drop chance either, and now they just reduce the drop chance. Let's see.
Love to see it. I just want to see one. It's like I didn't see any last week for round 3. It just seems so bad that there's none this week either. It's just I can't really say too much about the first 2 rounds because I was only watching I wasn't watching as closely.
Mhm.
But yeah, it feels very stingy on drops for Fatal Blowout this year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, watching this for 4 hours straight is really taxing, especially if you're wanting to watch all 4 runners and kind of get an idea. So that's where we provide a really good idea for you, because it's definitely, I think today it's definitely going to be worth it too. This first round is going to be on fire, and then of course afterwards is the finals for this year's Fail Blowout. So yep, if you're here now, there's really a lot of reasons to stick around till the end.
If I recall correctly, regular Hydoras drop Miracle? No, X potions. Okay. I was trying to. There are enemies that do drop miracles. I'll be curious to see if any of the players decide to try to farm for miracles. But I think all the enemies that do have like really low drop rates. So it's
like 1%. Yeah. I don't know if someone does though. It's a point. Whatever. If you have to, I wouldn't necessarily try and farm them, but if you gotta kill them anyway, might as well.
Yeah. Especially with how stingy the cave's being, probably not worth it. It's like it feels like the drop rates have been dropped even by another half.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
People have not been getting lucky so far. But, I mean, I guess they also can't complain because their equipment so far. We've been wondering before, what the hard part about the seed is. And I think they've been getting, with Valor and Strong, they have really good healing and revive spells. Not in the same order, but, they have the Deca Blade, so the Jolly Kill should be feasible in some way. They have really good spells, attack spells. So, yep.
What I'll be curious is the players if they enter Go mode, depending on when they do, they'll have to make the choice between trying to get to the jelly as fast as possible or opening chests to try to find more miracles. Each chest takes 3 seconds to open. So it takes you for every 3 minutes earlier you finish, you get 1 point. So if you math this out, if you find 1 miracle every I can't count past 3, so this is hard. Every 30 chests or so, then that's pretty good, right? That's something like that.
Yeah, I think it's 52 chests or something. We calculated that last week. But yeah, I mean, I think taking the extra time, especially if you're not sure whether you have a kill or you want to feed the capsule or something like that, opening a couple extra chests is perfectly fine. You do get the 2 hours, and yeah, you can use them. But of course, the extra points for finishing early, if you're absolutely sure you got everything you need. If
any of the runners took the speedrunner gambit to beat the jelly first, they probably wouldn't do that, but I didn't see anybody with a lack of points to show that they took that, so I don't think anyone did, but I could be wrong. I'm not sure.
I mean, look at this roster. Who do you think would pick that gambit, I don't know. There's strong competition no matter where you look.
Yeah, these runners, I mean, any of them, if they were to take it, I don't think I'd be... I think Travitok would probably be the one I would expect to take it the most. because he could really fly through the floors. But not this time. Like from the way the players are playing now, I don't think anyone would have taken that, especially since you see them farming for fruits and stuff, which are a pretty low drop rate. I don't think anybody took the gambit to try to finish first.
Yeah, and in this scenario with the rando, it's always a thing. You can rely on your movement and all, but you never know. You have to open a lot of chests in order to not miss, the Decablade at the very least in the beginning. Now that they have that, I suppose they don't have to do it as much, but yep. Ravictox getting a lot of the drops here. He just got an Earth Jewel. He got a Twist Jewel earlier, which famously is a very good item. And yeah, he's the lucky one.
Twist Jewel's real?
Well,
yeah, this Twist Jewel it's only worth 1 point because it's a blue chest item. It doesn't have the extra points as the Cancer Rock or Hydora Rock. But it's nice for 2 reasons. It gives a lot of agility, making it easier to run away. Also for the jelly, it's really nice because you can throw it on Decker to have him outspeed guys in your party. Which will just help his Fatal Blow outdo just a little bit more damage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ooh, an Old Sword. That's
Old
a
Sword
really
as well.
nice find.
Wow, I
If
wonder...
only we found a Cancer Rock.
Yeah, that would be great. I didn't see it. Did Eve get a Cancer Rock?
I did not
sure.
see.
Okay,
I didn't
so
see Eve's
Traffic
points
Talks
go up, so I don't think so.
Mm-hmm. True. Yeah, I mean they are only counted a jelly, perhaps. I'm pretty sure. So we gotta see.
Yeah,
I'm
Old
not entirely
Sword.
sure on that.
Old Sword's really good because it has an IP attack that takes out what is it, 1/8 of their HP, I think. But the other nice thing,
even
1/6. Okay,
Yep.
it's 1/6 of their HP, and the other nice thing about it is it doesn't use all your IP, and you have enough afterwards. So where if you have a Cancer Rock, you can use the Cancer Rock as well, which is really nice to find. But again, we didn't find a Cancer Rock, so that nice little thing with the Old Sword, not gonna see that this run, unless someone got a Cancer Rock when I wasn't looking, of course.
Yeah. It's perhaps not good for that combo, but it's still a really good item to have. So, and there's a black guy now.
Black Eye is so good.
The reason why Twist Jewel is good is, of course, agility in the cave as well, and Black Eye does give an agility boost as well. What you're generally looking for is, for escape agility, you want the fastest and the slowest character in your round to be a little bit faster, because the average between these two characters is what's used to determine your escape initiative, so to speak. So having 2 agility rocks is really good, because you can slap one onto Decker, who's almost always going to be your slowest character, and then one on Artie, who's always going to be your fastest character. So then you raise your average party agility, and that makes it a lot easier to escape from combat with a lot of enemies. So yeah, having, in Traffic Talk's case, having the Twist Jewel and the Black Eye, is a really good position to be in.
And I was just informed, Eve did get a Cancer Rock, so Eve is going to be very happy to find that Old Sword.
Nice. Yep.
Look at this room. We got Core hiding behind the Hydoras. Gonna have to fight through some things for that.
We got past ninjas without even having to mention anything. So
I feel like we've been bamboozled a little bit. This really doesn't seem that bad. I don't know. The late floors can be really nasty. Ooh, Twister. Oh gosh, Avatar, this fight scares me. These birds can be just absolutely brutal if they decide to be.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they could be a roadblock, but
especially in a hallway. If you have to go down the hallway, that's just like I think he'd be fine to get past it if he needs to, but it would probably use up a lot of resources on healing, MP, and all that.
Yeah, but there is another way in there, so everything's perfectly fine. Those birds, as long as you're in a vertical hallway, that's fine. You can always pass them without even an encounter 100%. In the horizontal hallway, a lot of enemies get really nasty.
This dinosaur, I'm watching Mike's stream. This dinosaur does not want to move away from the stairs at all.
Yeah, he is guarding it. Or it is guarding it, I suppose. Yep.
At least the dinosaurs are far from the scariest thing in this cave, so at least there's that.
Yeah,
But it's
IP
just,
farming
it's
enemies.
just always annoying when enemies just don't want to get out of your way.
Yeah.
Now we have Eve fighting a fan favorite enemy, the wheel eel, which looks nothing like a wheel. Well, it's like the petals kind of look
Or
like
an eel.
nothing like an eel.
Yep, there was some explanation of what they're actually supposed to be named after, but I forgot, unfortunately. It was a really good explanation. It convinced me.
I had a buddy of mine explain it to me. It has something to do with the fact that, like, something with the translation and them being like, I don't remember the name of the flower. There is an explanation. I don't know it.
Okay. Yep. Some enemy names are really obviously wrong, like Hidora is obviously a Hydra, right? And
evil
translators
fish.
for the US version are just a little bit lazy. Evil
my,
fish.
My personal favorite is the evil fish, which is not even a fish. It's like an octopus.
Yeah, it's close enough, right? They live in the ocean, so whatever. Translator's really.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
It
Wheel,
was
eel,
close to
ill
weekend.
will. That's what it is. Because they look like, what, nightshade, I believe? Something like that, which is like poisonous.
That was not the explanation I heard, so let's say
I
there's
think
a couple
it sounds
of
similar
guesses
to
around.
what I heard. I will take it.
Yeah.
I saw it in chat, and it's better than my explanation, so I'm
There
going
you go,
with it.
that works for me. Someone knows the explanation, but they're not gonna tell anyone. Nice.
Did everyone get a Decker Blade? I'm pretty sure everyone found the Decker Blade. There was one on the way that would have been pretty hard to miss, and there was a
Yeah,
second one even later in the
I
cave.
think so too. I wouldn't be worried about anyone not getting it, put it that way. Yeah, so as you said, there's gonna be a couple of really dirty floors ahead if the seed is actually hard. As it stands, runners are way past the halfway point. Well, most of them anyway. Going by the fastest runner to gauge the difficulty of the seed, and Traffic Tugs, I believe, is the furthest down so far, and hasn't seen too many terrible roadblocks. So
Yeah, these floors, like, they may not have the Archfiends of later floors, but there are a lot of enemies on these in like the 50s, 60s. I have really annoying movement to deal with, and if you get in fights with them, can suck up a lot of time. So I would not be surprised to see some scary things here. But so far, I'm really wondering what's so scary about this seed. Is there going to be a party room of dragons with stairs on the other side? I don't know. I would love to see a call me a terrible person, but I would love to see them have to fight their way past a Dragon Con.
yeah, I mean, why not? We definitely have to group here to deal with that kind of stuff because they're all well equipped to handle it. One of the most important things in the cave is movement, and that really is what I've seen a comment in chat earlier saying that you casually need around 8 hours. Honestly, that's still like fast. To completely beat this cave, because casually you don't know all these strats that we do with like movement, enemy weaknesses, weapon combinations, and so on and so forth. So really what makes the difference here is a lot of knowledge and being able to encounter enemies. So you can run through this cave backwards, actually, which we've done through ROM hacks. You can start at floor 98 at level 1. Obviously every enemy is gonna instant kill you if they get a turn, but if they don't get a turn, which you can perfectly facilitate with movement, then you can perfectly manage to go through there. So movement does allow you to get a command on these runs that you otherwise do not have. So if you take longer than 2 hours to finish this cave, don't feel bad. You probably just don't know these strats. And if you do want to know them, then hit us up. We know them.
Yeah, I would absolutely say, like, the big thing about the cave is, again, movement. Movement. Cave is movement. If you are not into like RPG speedruns where like movement is important, maybe not. The caves may not be for you, but it's one of those dimensions of RPG speedrunning that really makes Lufia 2 unique. Is enemies move when you move, and having to figure that out. That type of execution is what drew me to the cave. I love RPG speedruns that are more than just how fast can you menu and like basic decision making. This game has that too, but the movement is such an extra dimension of speedrunning that really makes the game just really fun.
Yep. And the game, obviously, this is just an extra mode, right? There is a really amazing story mode.
Wait, this is the extra mode? I thought the story mode was the extra mode.
The story, I call it the story DLC, but technically you do have to play through the story mode to get here. So.
Not if you're in the Discord, then you could just download the ROM.
That's fine.
Straight
that's
to the
fair.
cave.
That's fair.
That's
nice
what I
plug.
did.
Yeah, I mean, why not? You know, the story isn't for everyone, and at least to get to speedrun in the cave, you don't necessarily want to beat the story mode. You know, that's why those save games exist. But that being said, in my opinion, as you said, you know, as you compared it to JRPGs in general, they, like Lufia 2, solved one issue with JRPGs in my mind that has lived way longer than it should have, which is random encounters. You just don't have it in Lufia other than on the world map. In any dungeon, you get 0 random encounters, and that's just amazing.
Yeah, especially like random encounters in games can. This game does use a lot of the aspects of random encounters in it, and the fact that you have, depending on how you approach an enemy, if they back attack you, you can get they have the preemptive strike. But you have control over this. It's not like some of the other RPGs in the era where you can just get pincered by enemies and you can't run away and you die. Looking at you, Final Fantasy. For the most part, if you get back attacked in this cave, it's your own fault. There's very few situations. Otherwise, sometimes you might get stuck in a situation where you have to choose, like, 2 enemies are moving at you at either side, and you have to pick which one you want to fight. But overall, you have absolute control of how the enemies are going to fight you.
Yeah, I don't think we're gonna see a lot of surprise attacks in this round. Eve got surprise attacked by Samurai before in an effort to prove me wrong about her movement skills, but she can't fool me. It happens sometimes when you're trying to move really fast, and human ability is limited after all. Mistakes do happen. Generally speaking, though, these people all know what they're doing.
Yeah, you can definitely tell. They all make this seed look like so easy, which, I mean, it doesn't look like the worst seed we've had by any means, but it also just is a showcase that, like, most players, especially newer runners or casual runners, would probably have a very, very hard time getting through the cave, but these runners are so skilled that they're actually, in a lot of ways, just making it look pretty easy.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and actually, it only now occurs to me that I don't think we've seen a lot of Gambit action. There hasn't been a lot of capsule feeding early. I guess Eve was the first one feeding Darby the 2, but I don't think that affected her points in any shape or form, because she doesn't have a multiple. She doesn't have like a 3-point thing anywhere. So yeah, perhaps no one actually took a Gambit in this round, at least not so far. Maybe they took the first to kill the Jelly Gambit or something like that. We're gonna have to see. I guess now that I think about it, for the wild card, we didn't have any extra thing like we usually do, like randomly rolling the party or something like that. But you have to take a Gambit, what maybe be a fitting thing for this failed wild card round. But alas, it's gonna be fun anyway, you know.
We have Mike beating Darby to 3 right now. But yeah, we haven't. One of the things runners could do if they think their opponents might be going for a Gambit is to try to sabotage them and beat them to that. We haven't seen a lot of that either. So it doesn't really look like the runners took a Gambit or are even trying to like sabotage each other, which is a little bit interesting. But yeah, we'll see. Hopefully see Darby form 3 here. Form 3, again, really nice on these later floors because the chance to one-shot enemies and not have to worry about them. It's almost like an extra deadly. About as reliable as 1-2 sometimes, you might say. They says it's an 80% chance to one-shot with the deadly. It doesn't feel like that sometimes.
Yep, that's fair. Darby just comes as an extra, you know. And it's a really good capsule. You want to feed it to 4 anyway, because that's a really useful capsule at the jelly. So yeah, getting it to 3 as early as you can, get the extra deli, the extra instant kill chance, It's basically free, and I think Mike is the first to feed the Capsule 3, so whether that was a gambit or not for anyone here, that will affect it.
Have we seen any curse lifters yet this run? I feel like the runners are pretty close to being able to have a jelly kill. I think the only thing it might be missing is a curse lifter or maybe like one more finisher. I haven't really paid too much attention to what finishers they've found so far.
I have not seen a curse lifter in any case, or any particular finishers except for that old cancer for Eve, which I'm counting as a finisher. You know?
It's a finisher. Like, not finding a curse lifter is not the biggest deal in the world. Artie's really good at casting spells. You can always just, I think they all found Thunder, so they can always just spam that, or if they find Zap, they can use that. It's not the biggest deal in the world for Artie. It's a bigger deal if you were stuck with like a deadly sword, because Maxim can use spells, but his spells don't do nearly as much damage as Artie, and Maxim has a lot of options for like weapon finishers, and missing out on those can kind of hurt. But I don't think we've seen a deadly sword this run. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Mike did not stop at Form 3 here, by the way. He actually feeds away a Red Saber, which would have been a finisher. So there are finishers around. And it seems like Mike is trying to go to Form 4 right here and now, which does not mean it has to be his Gambit. Because Darby 4 is really good, but he's even better if you learn Evil Aura, and that is a skill that Capsule does not have immediately, but it has a random chance of, I think it's 1 to 24 or something like that, to learn after every single battle. So, yep, as early as you can get Darby to Form 4, the better it is for you.
Yeah, Darby 4 with Evil Aura it's so much damage. I think it does like 900 plus damage or something like that. I've seen it do. It's really good, and it's like pretty much any of Darby's attacks are, they're not bad. They're better than defending, that's for sure. But Darby is very reliable damage on the jelly, so Form 4 very good. You're gonna want that on the jelly regardless.
Yep. Mike trying to either go through this hallway or back attack this Hydra here. Missed one shot because, you get overzealous while slashing, because it does take forever for these enemies to turn their back towards you sometimes.
These hallways...
He's getting really unlucky with this one.
These hallways really show like one of my weaknesses as a runner, where I'm just not patient and I'll go for the 50-50. These runners are going to be a lot more patient for me in a tournament setting. You definitely want to have the patience, but when I'm going for PB attempts, I'm just like, I am not waiting here for 5 minutes for these 6 to get to a wall or something. Like, these enemies can just suck up so much time if they don't want to move towards a wall.
Definitely. You've just got 2 no-cores, nice. Yeah, if you're...
So good.
You have to know which enemies to be patient with, because some... Like, I don't know, there is a lot of enemies you can just gamble and whatever. If it doesn't work out, you take some damage, it's fine. But enemies like Hidoras, I don't know, Archfiends, obviously, you do want to take your time. Leeches, perhaps. You do want to take your time and really make sure that you can get the best encounter possible, because they can easily end your run, especially in 80% when you don't have this much experience in items.
Watching Travatar just fight 2 leeches, and I just shudder at the thought. Those enemies, they're so scary.
That was not an encounter you probably wanted to be in, but yeah, it happens from running fast. I'm gonna give everyone the benefit of the doubt here, because they are still in a stressful scenario. Because even though they still have an hour left, which should be plenty of time for any of them to finish here easily enough, assuming the cave doesn't kill him.
Watching Eve and Mike both trying to farm for a Hydora Rock. Still haven't seen one from seeing it drop yet. Cave still being stingy.
Yeah. Mike again has to wait for this Hydra to get in the favorable position. There it is. Yeah, these enemies are really easy to back attack, but sometimes it just takes forever. If you play this cave casually, and I'm watching a lot of runners play this, like for the first time or whatever, you just run into these encounters, you're not gonna have any fun.
Yeah, I was making jokes earlier about not being able to count to 3. These are the enemies that I refer the joke to. They move every 3 steps that you take. So you want to set yourself up to where you can back attack them. If you miss Cal, which is easy to do if they're against the wall, you think they moved 3 times, they've only moved twice, or they moved 4 times and one of them was back into the wall. You can set yourself to get hit when you don't want to. So yeah, miscounting, you don't want to do that here. And it's easy to do when you're not sure what step they're on.
And the stakes are high. Yep, it happens. The counting to 3 thing is really hard. Oh, is there a second black eye in the seed? I'm seeing for Voodoos just now. That would actually be good for everyone, not just for Traffic Tux, who got lucky with a twist jewel.
Yeah, but speed's based off your fastest and slowest party member. Finding that can definitely help you skip some encounters that you normally wouldn't want to see.
Yep.
A certain eyeball enemy comes to mind. What are those ones called?
Warm Eye.
Yeah, the Warm Eye. Whoa! What happened to Eve?
Do you know that if you shave,
it's a
1/3
commercial.
of what you remove is
I thought
Eve's,
something went wrong with the stream,
yeah.
and now I'm getting a Dove commercial.
Extracting some money from this tournament. Not really. Not intentionally, anyway.
Oh, going for a 50-50 against Black Dragons. Traffic Talk did, and they are just attacking, so that's good.
Yep.
Black Dragons can be pretty terrifying, but again, hallways like that, they could just suck up a lot of time. Sometimes, especially if you don't have anywhere to run to, you either go for the 50-50 or risk sometimes them blocking you into a corner, so I get it.
And he did spawn in that hallway, so that's the situation all of them have to go through eventually.
So that's what's so scary about this seed.
It can't just be this floor, because Black Dragons, I mean, they can kill you eventually, but honestly, it's not an enemy I'm too worried about, especially with a deadly going around. Yeah, we'll see. Traffic Tux, got in the doorway really easily, decides to attack them, even though he doesn't have to anymore, probably for the Dark Fruit. And, yep, he's feeling comfortable here, I think. I get killed by Destroy, but that's fine.
Classic guy.
Yeah. Mike's screen, I've seen everyone at like perfect health except Cellen at 0 HP. That's an image you would be very used to with Cellen in the party. Unfortunately.
The unfortunate thing with Cellen is...
a lot.
Yeah, in general, Cellen has a lot less HP than the other characters, which can make IP farming, especially in the later floors, a little bit more of a pain.
Yeah.
Depending, I don't know what level you would need to be safely farm Copper Dragons, but it's higher than you would.
Yeah.
Like if there's a single one, I don't know.
I can tell you can do it at 30. So 30 without like, exceptional gear, they can still easily kill you with Cellen or Tia. Yeah, but there is a couple of extra tricks you can do. I would say with the girls, you probably don't want to farm with coppers. There's other enemies to farm at, which definitely is one advantage that the Guy parties have, because Guy is very tanky, and Maxim is not. Maxim is then the weakest character in the party, but you can back row Maxim, so that takes care of a lot of things for anyone who doesn't know. The characters in the back row take and deal less damage than the characters in the front row. Goes for both members of your party and enemies.
White Dragons, farming White Dragons, trying to get that fruit, I believe. White Dragons are so scary.
Yeah.
But when you get the back attack, if you can, as long as your deadlies decide to work, the keyword, if they decide to, then they're not too bad. But if you fight 3 of them and your deadlies fail on your preemptive, then you're in a really bad spot. I don't even know if a Black Eye and a Twister would be enough for you to run away from those fights. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't know if I would feel safe trying to farm that fruit.
Yep. But, they do have Firebird, which For all these dragons, once they're below a certain HP amount, they will use stronger 100% on themselves to kind of heal themselves. So if you can get them below that HP with like a double cast of Firebird, then yeah, it's actually a 100% safe fight. Mike didn't do that here. Didn't feel
I actually didn't know that. See, I'm learning things.
Yeah, that's.
I thought they just killed you.
Because that too. Oh, and Mike does have the double deadly equipped, so he does have a deadly rod on both Artie and Sullen here, which I'm now actually seeing for the first time. So
double deadly's really good at farming, that's for sure.
And Darby just learned Evil Aura, if I saw that correctly.
Ooh, that's so good.
Yep, and he's switching it back down to 3 for the instant kill chance that Darby 3 has. So yep, very nice. Second old sword now for Traffic Talks. But this seed really seems plentiful in terms of items. Also in terms of dragons so far.
We see Eve also fighting farming the white dragons. Mike fighting the golden Goroms, which those guys bring me pain. They killed one of my PB attempts the other day, so I just don't like seeing them. Oh my gosh, is that a Archfiend standing on the stairs for Travatok? That can't be an Archfiend. That's the Ice Rogue. It has to be, right?
But it I was gonna say it should be easy to get past this without an encounter. Traffic Talks does take a different route than I would have taken there. Perhaps for good reason. I didn't look at it long enough to tell. In any case, this is very survivable. Ice Rogues, they are hard enemies. The enemy that you saw on the right in Traffic Talks encounter just now, the ones with the horns, they are tough enemies, and you wouldn't want to encounter them. It's one of the more dangerous enemies in the cave. But you're a third old sword. But you are always happy to see him because that means it's not an Archfiend.
Any Archfiend you see just makes your heart drop. Archfiends have several attacks that just can ruin your day, between thunder and, well, pretty much anything they can do besides attack or stronger. If you see stronger, you're very happy, because then they become, instead of Archfiends, they become arch friends. Ooh, blue chest. Is he gonna go for that blue chest in the middle of that nightmare of a floor?
Oh, do we have a greed floor? Nice.
Yeah, Travatok's got a very, very sketchy floor with a blue chest in it. I'm very curious to see what he decides to do.
I mean, as for blue chest items, of course it's 1 point, right? But there's a couple of really good items they could have. Traffic Talks being one of the runners who actually brought Guy into this, the only runner actually who brought Guy into this cave. Does have to wonder whether that's a Gades blade. So if it is, that's a sure jelly kill for him with what he has.
Yeah, Gades blade would be the biggest. Goldeye would be pretty big. That's really good at getting some extra damage on the jelly. A lot of the other ones you would like to see are not necessarily as good now, since they already have a lot of the good speed items. They already have a Twist Jewel or the Black Eye.
Exactly.
So there's not nearly as many enemy items as normal as you would normally want to see. Maybe you could find a helmet or ring that finish off a party member's item slots and maybe get the points that way. Those items probably won't be as useful for the cave itself, but they could help you get some extra points for filling out your party.
Yeah, I'm thinking a Water Gaunt is probably the only thing they could really pro from here that's useful in other terms than just pure attack power. Otherwise, of course, maybe a Fry Sword, a Sky Sword, that's the stuff you always want. And there's a lot of Gorgons on the way, it seems, so I'm not even sure if he's still in the same treasure room, but I assume he is.
I looked away, but either way, you want to farm those Gorgon Rocks. And no Gorgon Rock.
No
and now we see Bidoops in this floor that I saw Eve doing earlier. There's two things in that floor that you really want. One is chance for that Hydora Rock, and the other is that No Core. But yeah,
nice
Travatok is still in that room.
Nice showcase from Bidoops. That's one thing that people don't ordinarily see, that you can just camp behind the bush and slash it as a way of waiting for the 2 steps, Yep, very nice. There's definitely one room you want to have patience in, though. The one Voodoo's in right now. Always dangerous.
I think the room Travatok has 3. Oh no, there's a lot of chances. I think 5 chances encounters to get that
Gorgons.
Gorgon rock.
Yeah.
Love to see it. As long as it actually drops. Anyway. And now you guys watch Vidoof, see if Vidoofsky. Oh, okay, that's pretty good luck with the Hydra. He decided to run into the bush. That's a very conveniently placed bush, because again, 3-step enemies are really annoying to deal with in the hallways.
Yep. Bushes are your friends in general. Like, if you're playing this as a new runner or whatever, as an experienced runner, you would know it, but just don't slash any bushes unless you absolutely need to, because they're never going to be in your way, or almost never going to be actually in your way. But they can be helpful in a lot of ways, and enemies have strange interactions with them, as in not turning away or something, and they move into them.
I'm watching
they're
Mike,
really
Mike.
useful.
Mike, and Eve were in basically the same encounter against the Leech and the vampires, and I just hate that encounter because they just can suck up so much time. They get multiple attacks, deadlies don't work on them, they're just a very annoying enemy to have to deal with, especially if they decide to take all your MP away.
Yep. So the mystery blue chest for Travatox was actually a black eye, which is gonna go on the pile of agility rocks.
Speed.
Yeah,
everyone's gonna be going so fast.
Oh
my gosh, that's so many, that's so many genies just locked in on him right now.
Yep. Lucky here that they both defended though. He's not yet completely out of danger, but I don't think Decker is gonna die here even with the double frost. But yep, looks good. What he can do now, actually, we're talking about. Oh wait, he does not have a girl character, but for any of the ones that do have Tia, they can equip the second deadly rock. Is just go double gloom splash in the jelly fight, because the black eye actually has quite a strong IP attack. It's not perfectly placed on a character with little strength, but it's in theory possible. I'm not gonna say it's amazing. I'm just gonna say if they don't find a curse lifter, that's one way to deal with it.
Struggle to get this these teleporters out of the way. Oh, and one just teleports right in front of her. God, Leech.
The heliporters.
So
joking about it. Yep.
Mike too. These two just keep getting in the same fights at the same time.
Yeah. Leeches are really annoying in that way. They teleport when they're far away, and they're not teleporting away when they're close. So, yep, there is a reason they keep getting into encounters, especially in hallways. Yep.
2 in 1 hallway. That's just cruel. But at least the good thing about them is they have relatively low HP. So with Valor, you can kill them, but they have a fairly nasty moveset. They're not too bad when it's just them, but when they're paired with Archfiends, they have a really high speed, and one thing you don't want to see is them, confuse Artie or something, and have the Archfiend just kind of kill you. They're just nasty.
Yeah, and we've been talking all this time about, they can just use Valor to kill these enemies, or they can just use Fiber to kill the other enemies, MP is actually a valuable resource as well, and it's very limited, especially since Miracles, which completely fill up your HP and MP, not only are rare, but give you points, so you're not necessarily trying to waste them. And I think that's one cause for why we see almost everyone here running around with very little MP. I don't think I've seen Absorb in the seat, which would be a way to regain some MP, but yeah, I'm not sure whether MP conservation is something that people have to actually pay attention to. We will see.
Yeah, Absorb is an amazing spell if you can find it, especially for Fatal Blowout. But so far I've only seen the enemies use it, and unfortunately this game does not have the ability to learn from enemies. There is no blue mage in this game.
That's the worst part. If you're already in a situation where you have little MP, and then a genie takes it away from you. Well, there's Rally now, and Coma, as see on Travatox and Mike respectively. So Rally.
I imagine they're super excited to see
spell.
Rally.
Yeah, maybe. Sure.
Do they have Champion?
Very
Rally
cheap,
plus
very
Champion
good
is very good. But without champion, you're almost always just gonna use Valor. I feel like, not always, but a lot of the time. I think I saw strong earlier in the seed, but it was in kind of a weird room, so I don't know if everybody has that. Rally plus strong is very good.
That's a good point. I saw strong at least for some runners, but if not all of them have it, and healing just with Valor is also really gonna chew on your MP reserves. I don't know, maybe everyone's running around with EX magics, and no one's actually gonna worry about MP. I don't want to make it sound like that's the end of the world right now, but
I see a hallway on Travatalk's stream. I hope he don't. I don't know if he has to go through this hallway, but I see him feeding. But it's just a long hallway with a possible Archfiend blocking the way. I hope that's not the way you have to go, but it looks like he might be preparing just in case it is.
Yeah, we're still looking for something tremendously hard in the seed, I would say. Or perhaps we all lowered our expectations so much that now everything seems easy. Or not necessarily.
But again,
easy,
that just might be the runners. These runners are very good. I mean, they might just be making it look easier than it actually is.
Yep.
Hey, look, you found another old sword.
Bunch of old swords for everyone. For most of these runners, everyone but Travatalk, once you have 2 old swords, that's fine. You're never going to use more.
Oh, now Eva's in the Archfiend room. I'm curious to see how she's going to approach this one. I haven't been watching super closely to see if anybody else has gotten to this floor besides Travatalk, but if not, I'm going to be watching this, trying to watch this for everybody, because Archfiends are scary,
It's going to be interesting to see how Eva's going to play this. I wonder if I hope she's using my... Oh, no, she's not.
Oh.
that's one way, though. That's legit.
Let's just go, I guess. Well, he's stronger, so that's good.
Yep. Very nice. You take 1 encounter, you are on the stairs, and assuming you survive it, even if you don't survive it, you just revive your characters. It's definitely one way to play it, and honestly, Travatalk did the same thing. He just did it a couple of steps further to the left. So, yep.
Okay.
So
and
what I believe is possible is that you can actually walk on the top left now. Mike is in the room. You can just cross or take a turn around that chest on the top left and just pass this entire room without a single encounter.
All right, it's Mike's turn to figure out this room. Let's see how he does it. Looks like he's gonna.
You want to? Oh yeah. You waste a slash there. You have 1 extra step to slash that lower right bush, and then the Archfiend will follow you into that segment there. I actually think it's a situation where you don't have to take an encounter, but maybe Woodus will show it us. It's a very specific setup.
There will be two fights against these. It's just such a scary fight to be in. You don't want to see like a double thunder. That's the one thing I think you want to see the least from the Archfiends is double thunder.
I mean, maybe it deserves mention why Archfiends are so dangerous enemies. Obviously, they have strong attacks, they attack your entire party, and they act twice per turn. But if all that wouldn't be bad enough, they also cannot be surprise attacked. That is double thunder.
Decker, survive, please.
Yeah,
okay, we're good. It's so scary every time.
But yeah, so once 2 Archfiends are in these battles, then you have to worry about Decker. With only 1 Archfiend, that should be fine. However, if you decide to not run but attack, and you're gambling on one of your deadly users to survive, then you're in trouble if you get a double thunder because
Oh darn, Mike missed out on the old sword in the middle of the room. He's gonna be so disappointed when he finds out that he didn't get a 3rd old sword.
Yeah, I mean, he's gonna be completely broken up about it, I'm sure.
Ooh, Vidoof's in a fight against 3 gold Goroms, and deadlies are not working. This is another really scary fight if you can't kill him.
Yep. Destroy doesn't hit either. Oh, that's not a good situation to be in.
This is when the twist jewel and the black eye is so useful. Just being able to run away from the fight. That's so nice.
Yep. I'm not sure if he has a twist jewel, but being able to run away from gold Gorms makes him even easier as they normally are.
Did he come across a second black eye? Maybe there. I think we saw 2 this round. I don't know.
Perhaps, yeah. So
It's hard to
everyone
keep
should
track
have-
of 4 runners, so it's
Yeah,
don't know who got it and who didn't.
it's from what I've seen, of course, you know, I probably didn't catch everything, but Traffic Talk's the only one with the twist jewel, but everyone should, in theory, have access to 2 black eyes. I'm not sure whether the second black eye is on the floor that Voodoo's has not yet reached, of course, so, yep, I do not know. Oh, Voodoo's also has a twist jewel, I stand corrected. I've been told by Rocket, who's together with Creek in the scorekeeping team. So shoutouts to them for once. And of course.
You say for once, or did I miss
well,
you?
you know, no, they're sitting in their lonely room, and you know, there's no scorekeeper's command for them. They don't get any praise. So
Yeah, shout out to the
hereby
scorekeepers who
declare.
don't even have a command for them, but doing all the like
Exactly.
tedious work that we don't want to do. We have the fun jobs.
Exactly.
We just get to talk about people suffering. They're over there
Yeah.
doing math, and imagine trying to do math when you can't even count to 3.
Yep. Oh, I see they're being added to the commentary command. So
Oh, okay,
in a second tier rank, you know, as it should be. So yep, it's all good.
Love to see it.
Nice. Yep, so it looks like Eve is feeding Darby the 4 as well. Similarly, with the intention to learn Evil Aura as early as possible, I assume.
Yeah, Eve does not want to miss out on a jelly kill again, so that I completely
Yeah.
understand that.
Definitely. Yeah, so right now, before in voice chat, before we went live, we've been saying that it would be really great if all 4 runners got to a jelly kill. And I will say, I don't know what's coming up, but right now everyone's going really strong. They should all find one way or another to deal damage to Jelly. Of course, having a Cancer Rock is going to be really good in this setup. Alternatively, a Hidor Rock is going to get you places as well. I've seen Red Sabers for players, so...
Now we have Eve in the Gorgon room, or the Gorgon Rock room, see if she can get one. I don't think I saw Travitok get one, I could be wrong, even though there was so many in there.
Yeah.
But it's worth pointing out, we still have 40 minutes left, and the runners are making very good paces, despite, with them, like, searching around and stuff. 2 hours is a lot of time to be able to just check around, take your time, and really think your way through these floors.
Mm-hmm.
Another old sword. This is getting old.
There you go. Nice. I'm glad we both came up with it now, but didn't think of the third old sword. That would have been the pun to do. Nice.
Oh, and there's a deadly sword. Is it the real one or is it the fake? We probably won't even know because I doubt he's
yeah.
even going to want to equip it, but I am curious. Oh, and a fatal pick. We've got all of them. We've got the trio of deadlies.
I've seen the fatal pick before, but yeah, there's been double deadly rod before that even dropped, I think. So fatal pick and deadly sword. I mean, Travtux, in theory, he doesn't have the ability to equip 2 deadly rods, so maybe in some weird situation actually cares about the deadly sword if it's real, but I don't see it honestly. Floor 83 for him now.
Yeah,
So,
especially if we don't
he's-
see any
he's
curse
closing in.
lifters. I do not see that deadly sword getting used unless we find curse lifters like now. And Eve also went for the black eyes. Said this room, the room's actually, with Eve's knowledge of movement, it makes sense that Eve would go for it. I would see that room and be like, yeah, I'm gonna mess this up. I'm going somewhere else. Nope. But yeah, just such good movement.
Treasure rooms are very daunting, you know, if you're not perfectly sure about what every enemy is doing, and honestly that's true for a lot of seasoned runners as well, perhaps. But yeah, once you know how these enemies move, if you get in a treasure room, sometimes people are going crazy over it, and you're like, okay, this is fine. What are you even worried about? You know, a single enemy in the hallway can be more scary than an entire treasure room of enemies. There's the Gorgon Rock for Eve now. Nice.
Well, we got a Gorgon Rock. Nice. It's time to see the luck turn around. Verdus is on one of the floors was in a room that I really dislike, and that's just rooms with a lot of the teleporter enemies. It's just, it's it can be very hard to process when they teleport when there's multiple of them, because the flash on the screen when they move is so quick that it's just very hard to process, at least for me, where all of them are moving, so it's easy to get accidental encounters. There's a lot of it. Oh no, that fight, Mike, I'm so scared for you. Oh, that was the hallway. Okay, yep, that was the hallway that Travatok was setting up for leveling up the capsule monster for earlier. A hallway that you have to go through with double Archfiend. That's so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of things can happen here, you know, and I will say, as long as everyone survives, I really appreciate these seeds where you really get to see different outcomes, you know. But total party KO is not the outcome I want to see. So, yep, very cool though. I'm never completely convinced of using a de-randomizer for a tournament like this, but I gotta say, with a round like this, runners all on like a very interesting skill level, a very high skill level, it's really cool to see how everyone's going through these different situations.
Yeah, now we have Vidus against the triple gold Gorham. See how this goes. With the speed items, there's a good chance to run. Oh god, golden mist. There was a good chance to run away, but not 100%, I guess. Oh gosh, no!
Oh, two of them even. That could be fatal.
Oh,
that is very
so
unfortunate.
heartbreaking.
So, yep, Voodoo unfortunately takes the death here. Yep.
That's very unfortunate, even with the speed items.
So, yep.
There is 36 minutes. He could try to go back and try to get some points, or maybe he'll just, I don't know, he'll do whatever the heck he wants. Who knows?
Yeah. He stole the chests and now is probably gonna take a nice look at a C and contemplate this run. While the other three rounds is still going strong, so yep.
They had very good items this run.
Vidus.
And yeah, Vidus ran very well, but that's just one unfortunate thing that can happen in this cave. If your deadlies don't work, if you, even with the speed items that give you a chance to run away faster, it's not guaranteed. It's hard to say if Vidus could have done anything different. Maybe put Decker in the back row. I do believe that attack is physical. Maybe he could have survived, but yeah, and then there's also the chance there would have been a third golden mist. Who knows?
I missed the entire setup to that situation, so or you know, backstory to that situation, so I can't really say.
Also, I haven't been paying attention if they had any like smoke balls or anything like that. So
the thing is, do you really want to waste them on gold gorms? You know, and if there is a chance to escape from them. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough. It happens sometimes.
Any Decker blades found? I think there was 2.
So Voodoo actually missed the Decker blades.
Both of them? Ooh.
Looks like it.
Oh gosh, it's just the hallway now. It's just the hallway of pain.
Double Archfiends is.
Okay, I think she's fine.
Yeah, she will live if she escaped, which I assume. But it doesn't mean she's passed an encounter already, but yep, she is. Okay.
Always so nasty. I understand why this scene is especially painful now. Even if it's just that hallway, that's just disgusting.
Yeah, you have to really know about how enemies move to get past that Archfiend in a single encounter. And even then, I suppose there's a certain chance that you'll see 4 Thunders, and yep. You don't want to see that.
Yeah, you definitely don't. Pretty much the only item that you can really find to make them less scary is like the Bolt Shield. I think that's a good item to find, but we didn't see that this seed. Generally, you just see Archfiends and you just cry a little bit. Another thing I guess you could do is if you can get Artie fast enough, you can outspeed Archfiends, but that is very difficult to do. They are just really fast enemies.
Yep, it's possible, you know. And and runners would definitely know when they can outspeed them. So the question is, do you really want to gamble? Because if your deadly does not hit, then you're very likely not going to survive it again. You don't get surprise attack rounds against Archfiends. So running
By the way,
away
do you like
is
gambling?
your
You
best
should
bet.
play the Ancient Cave. This game's great for it.
True, true. I'm a gambler, you know. So
I
maybe
am too.
This is why I'm here.
This game is a lot of just rolling the dice to try to get good floors, good chests. It's very random, so if you like to gamble, this is a great game for you, for sure. And you
Definitely,
don't
but
even
it
have
should-
to spend money.
That's the best part of it. It should be mentioned though that I am a gambler, but I also like educated guesses. So yeah,
Do you like
I
math?
do appreciate the RNG. Well, it's a complicated relationship, but yeah, I definitely want to get the best chance that I can out of everything, you know. And if I
We
have to
definitely
use
have.
math to get it, then I will.
If you love statistics, this is a great community for you because we have all types of calculators and stuff. We're just trying to figure out what your chances for getting the jelly kill are. Like, there's so many fun math tools to just play with. There's times where I'm just like not even doing runs, and I'm just playing around with the calculator, seeing what different setups can do to like their chances of getting a kill. It's actually really fun.
It seems like Voodoo pulled the blunt deadly. There is some discussion about that in chat as well as some math. So, yep. Yeah, the community is definitely full of nerds. So
That's true. If you don't like math, it doesn't matter because
yeah,
if you
Someone else
stream the
does.
cave, if you stream the cave, we will come, and more likely than not, there will be somebody in your channel that knows math. Oh god, double silver dragon, that's a scary fight. But with their speed tools and the fact that like a well-placed back attack, yeah, you're perfectly fine. More times than not, dragons aren't too scary. You can just back attack them and move on. The main thing you just gotta be concerned on is fighting them in hallways, more or less.
chat just tried to use the schedule command. I can maybe enlighten you in its place. This is the last day of Blowout, aka the last day of runs. You are currently watching the last 30 minutes of the wildcard round, followed by a 2-hour finals. And that will conclude the event.
Yeah, whoever wins this. And again, the scores are very close right now.
Yeah.
Like Eve
For
is
this
behind
entire
on some
race.
floors, but has 45 points, and we're actually reaching close to the end, especially in Travatok's run. We're past Archfiend floors, so now the only enemies you have to deal with now are dragons and teleporters, which have a lot easier movement patterns than most of the enemies we've seen before. It's oh hey,
Yep.
look, we found Dragon Con. Let's go! Oh my gosh, I love this.
Unless the stairs are in there, though, it's not a very scary one.
Well,
But
see,
we'll
I'm
see.
not running, so I still love this, even if the stairs. Are in
Yeah.
there.
Yep. We'll see. It's definitely. I mean, you know, there's points up to 10 points for
Eve,
finishing
no!
early. Oh. That's scary indeed.
Oh my gosh, this fight is so scary. The deadlies didn't
This
work.
could be fine, but
It could be fine. Artie's
also
alive,
not
but
be
there is
fine.
a oh gosh, it's just such a scary fight. Like more times than not, they'll just skip their turn.
yeah.
But if they don't, they can do a lot of damage.
Oh no!
No.
Oh, he survives
Decker
though.
lives. Let's go.
Nice.
Oh, and now
Nice.
Mike in a similar situation. Is this the same genie?
Could be.
It looked like the same encounter. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's still. I mean, it. Oh yeah, Eve's getting a lot of
Oh
genies.
my
there.
gosh. Just these genies are so aggressive right now.
Yeah, they're on fire.
Okay, we see what was so scary about this floor. It was all in the late game. And unfortunately, the 50-50 did not work.
I wonder why Eve isn't leaving the floor to the top. So I haven't seen what's there, but it's got to be even worse than taking 50-50 against genies.
Yeah, I would
'Cause
imagine
normally-
so. That's maybe got chased by something into the room. I wasn't watching.
Yeah. So
But we got in first this
passed
time.
that a while ago.
Yeah, you've got in
Mhm.
first this time. We get the deadlies are working now.
Yep, that's good. Oh, there is a myth blade now for traffic tugs.
That is one of the nicest items you can find in this cave, especially if you already have a Decker blade. That's probably the next best thing.
Yep,
I love that
in terms of
myth blade.
fractionals, and it does have the highest attack power in the game, combined together with Sky Sword. So
Yeah,
if you
even if
have
you
a
fe-
Hedora or Cancer Rock, great.
Which I don't think Travatok has either of those.
I don't think so either. But
I think
even a
Eve is
regular
the only one
attack
I've
from
seen get a Cancer Rock.
that. So, you know, you might be incentivized to use a Cancer Rock or something with it, but even if you just do the Myth Blade's IP attack, even if you don't necessarily need it, and then do 2 regular attacks, that's still a lot of damage. So, same true for Sky Sword or something like that. Sky Sword then also gets the additional crit chance. So, yep.
Yeah, to give you an idea of how good the Myth Blade is on runs that do not have Decker, the Myth Blade you pretty much have to find. Is that a second Myth Blade?
It is a second Myth Blade.
Imagine not getting a kill now.
And Traffic Tuck's on floor 98, so unless we're seeing any surprises on this floor.
I think the only way you
still...
wouldn't be able to get a kill with like this type of setup is if you went double deadly, and even that, then that's like, I think you're
so
good.
We'll see. We'll see.
Again, I haven't seen a curse lifter yet, but Travatok didn't go double
Yeah.
deadly, so Travatok should
definitely
be
not.
very well set up for a kill. It's more Mike setup, I think, is the one I'm most worried about, because again, without a curse lifter, you only have 2 really good sources of damage. I mean, already does decent damage with tier 3 spells, but with a Decker Blade, Myth Blade, and some spells, that might be good enough.
And so even for Traffic Tux, I don't think it's 100% kill because there is certainly an inflation of fractionals. However, not a lot of finishers I've seen throughout this entire run. He may be able to make with what he has now. But he also has Zappy as a capsule, which I would say is not as reliable, although I'm not perfectly sure how good Form 5, aka Buttfish, actually is. Yep, so we'll see. Yeah.
We do have the Black
I'm
Eye
not
IP.
100% positive.
That was brought up.
Yeah,
the Black
true.
Eye IP is actually pretty big. I forgot about that.
Yeah, and it's gonna be really good in Traffic Tux's party. Because he brought a lot of strong guys.
Now we got
so
Mike
those
just
are the
wanting this
Cersei
dragon to
4-100.
move.
There he is. So, just to explain what happens now, well, he does get 1 point for every 3 minutes under 2 hours he finishes. He's probably not going to be able to still do it with 24 minutes left on the clock. But that's still a potential 7 points for him if he finishes below 21 minutes. Otherwise, he's going to do his jelly setup now. So we're going to see his final setup now. He also has the red saber I just saw. And the silver sword as well. Okay, so he does have finishers. This actually should be an easy kill then. And yep.
Just looking at Eve's screen, these dragons are not cooperating in this hallway at all.
Yeah, she does have patience, but let's see for how long, you know. Once he can get a surprise attack against him, which might be a while though. Surely gonna take it. In the meantime, we see the Trevik Talks jelly attempt here. We're gonna hear some amazing music. And some probably not as daunting enemy as you probably expected if you've never seen it. Again, you have 3 turns to deal 9,980 damage. After which the jelly will, escape from the battle by dealing 5 or 6 damage to it. You wonder, that does not mean there is 5 or 6 damage left. But yeah, honestly, I think we're gonna see jelly kills here if people get to jelly. they will very likely kill. Oh,
Power
Gourd's
Gourd
right
on
there.
Maxim. You don't see the Power Gourd used too often, but you can definitely be useful, especially for those IPs.
Yeah, it was completely frowned upon until the power of math, wielded by Travictox, figured out that's actually useful in a couple of situations. Nice showcase here.
Fish kick,
Fish kick.
386.
Nice
Let's
damage.
go. Do you like fish kicks? To be honest, I don't think I've ever seen this fish in a fight. I have no idea what the fish even does, but apparently it kicks.
Yep, and that's a kill.
That's a kill.
GG. Time is 22:30. Very nice. And the capsule skill learning after the fight. Now what you're gonna see on Travictox's screen is he's gonna go through the menus, go through all these items for the scorekeepers. But you don't have to concern yourself with it because you will see the score in the center of the screen, updated live. Whereas, and Mike will, yep.
Yeah, those were amazing
Pick up some
rolls
bush
for that
plates.
Battle Fury and Fatal Blow. Apparently, at least it said it was a 73% Battle Fury and 85% Fatal Blow. That's insane.
That's
Those are
really
really
good.
good rolls.
Yep.
Eve
really
will
ended
probably
up
be
very
happy
well.
happy with anything above 5% for the Fatal Blow. Because Eve has a bad past
Just
history
going by
of
her
being like
average
1 or
lucky
2%.
mean, yeah. Yep. Yep, so just a couple of floors. I'm not exactly sure where everyone is. Or
Yeah,
who's gonna get there first.
every time I look, even Mike are on pretty close to the same floor, so...
Yeah. Well, it looks like
Oh, look,
Mike's
another
a bit
old
ahead
sword.
now, 96. What is that now? 5? I don't know, I can't even count to 3, so... Oh yeah, Mike is considerably ahead by 4 floors.
Okay, they were
it
about
has to be
time,
mentioned-
but Mike might just be going for it now.
So, I'm finishing early by a couple of minutes does give you extra points, but they're not enough to, you know, outweigh all the points that you can get throughout the run. So, that being said, while Travictox's points here are probably not even final, the points total decides who wins this round and advances to the finals.
That's a lot of fruit.
Yeah, until all the runs are done and all the scorekeeping is done, do not count anyone out. You know, Travictox got there first. That was a very strong kill. And I'm sure he amassed a lot of points with all the blue chest items and drops he got.
Organizing
Yep.
for the scorekeepers as well is always very nice.
Yep. Some copper action now. Probably looking to IP farm for both these runners right now. Oh, never mind, Eve just killed all of them. Probably unintentional. Yep, but they're both going to have a very interesting IP farm ahead of them. Because Eve brought Tia and Mike brought Zelen, as we explained before, even though they have very high levels. I'm not quite sure if they want to use Copper Dragons as the source of their IP farming, because IP farming, of course, means when you take damage, you increase your IP bar. Should probably preface that. And yeah, if one of your characters dies, then the character has to regrow all of its IP, so you waste even more time. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, they're both very close. 96 for Eve, and yeah, they're just a matter of get the Q. They get the jelly kill at this point, and trying to maybe find a couple extra get some IP they need. Maybe open a couple chests. Maybe try to find a miracle. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty confident that everyone's gonna get to the jelly unless they like get impatient for the most part.
Yep.
Which with 19 minutes left, I think they're fine.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they don't have to worry about that. We saw on Travictox's seed, or on Travictox's screen, that the seed doesn't have any too threatening in the last couple of floors, so yep. Mike, in the meantime, got backstabbed by his own capsule, which killed his IP farming Copper Dragon with an instant kill attack.
I've done that. We've all been there.
Yeah.
It's always so painful. Farming with Sully, Form 2, Who never seems to want to do the insta kill until you're trying to farm a copper dragon, and then it always works.
Yeah, and Mike since switch down back to Disco Wolf to avoid further mistakes. Well, Eve still has WB3 on there, so.
It just
Yeah,
okay.
speak of the devil. Yep. Oh, it doesn't kill though. Wait, is that even the instant kill? I'm
That
not
wasn't
too
the one.
familiar with Darby,
I
I
saw
gotta say.
Terminate.
Yeah,
It sounded like instant kill. It's not that one. I thought it was at first. I was wrong.
Like Executioner or something like that. Yeah.
Imagine Terminate not being an insta kill. What?
It-
I'll blame
it will
poor
terminate
translation and not my
eventually.
lack of knowledge.
Yep, Eve apparently is a level 41, so Mike might get a level 37, so they're gonna have an easier time as usual with their IP farm. And yep, here in the back row still
yeah.
gets killed though with 210 damage. That's exactly what I'm talking about. Yep, that's gonna
Yeah,
be
there are
a
spells
bit
you
of a
can
time
use.
investment.
You maybe like you can swap like items around, try to get TM more defense. But
Yeah.
if they, what's the spell that increases defense?
A fake.
That one can.
Wait.
It's fake?
Courage
I don't think
and
it's fake.
bravery do increase defense.
I did see bravery, so they have bravery.
Yeah.
That can be useful.
Yeah. So if you can increase the agility to high enough levels to actually defend, that will increase your practical defense by way more than any DFP increase will get you. Because
Yeah, please.
defense only reduces damage by 1 damage per 4 defense points. However, if you get to defend, that reduces the incoming damage by 37.5%, which is a chunk. So, yep. If you can outspeed and defend, then that's going to be great. If you're also in the back row, which, yeah, I mean, Tia and Selen do live in the back row, that will further decrease the damage. And, yep, here, Eve actually managed to outspeed the
And there's
Cloud Dragon
destruction.
and defend.
There it is.
Yeah. Unfortunate.
And that's unfortunate.
Unfortunate.
Darby, please. Yeah, they're in a similar situation right now where they're just trying to IP farm their last party member, and they die very easily. So it's just, oh god, double silver, annoying. Can't IP farm those. I mean, you can, but it's not a good idea.
You can.
I mean, I guess
I've
it's
seen
better
people
than
IP
farming
farming
golds.
golds, you know, but they will eventually. I mentioned IP farming and golds. They will eventually run out of floors, you know. If you're sitting on 98 and all your dragons are dead, then you gotta do what you gotta do. One way to IP farm here is obviously to take Dark Summoners, but it looks like you just not want to do that.
I think if my choices were IP farming on golds, I would just self-destruct on the jelly. I think that would be my choice.
I don't know. You gotta know that this round is competitive, you know, and without a jelly kill, you don't stand
That's
a
true. You're not
chance,
moving on
so-
without a kill. That's a good point.
Yep. You can be favorite of the people and show them a jelly kill, or
Farm golds for the golden eye. That's what I want to see. Don't listen to
that
me.
would be nice.
That would be so cool.
Would be nice. Although it wouldn't even make that big of a difference. Oh yeah, see, that's what I'm saying. He was trying to find a dragon, but it's not guaranteed to find any copper still, you know. So she's on floor 97, which has a lower chance to find
Yeah, there's
coppers. There is one. Really doesn't hit. Fine. Yep, and this is a very good showcase of how much time IP farming takes with a suboptimal party. The main reason that Guy has been standing strong for so long in any percent as main character of choice, because IP farming with Guy is really easy, and you saw that Travitax. I mean, I didn't even see my IP farm, you know.
I can't imagine Eve not
Tia
running
and
with
Selen.
Tia though. Like I just associate
That's
Eve
true.
with Tia, not seeing
Yep.
Eve run with Tia. That would hurt me.
Yep.
When I watch
Oh, for sure.
when I watch Eve stream, it's to watch the dancing Tia gif of Tia doing the Macarena.
Yeah, she's locked in, for sure. But that's good, you know. I mean, that means she is very experienced with this character, and yeah, at least knows threats. Very good single attack from
Oof.
Copper directly to you, and
Okay.
that does it for
Yeah,
Eve's
Vidus
IP
has-
farm.
Yeah, Vidus is also good on IP. Just killed some dragons. And
You mean Mike?
yeah, now they're... Or Mike's, my bad.
All good.
Vidus is still in this run, I believe. 12 minutes. Go back in the cave.
Yeah. He definitely took enough damage to IP farm. Let's put it that way. Too soon, probably. So Mike's at the jelly floor as well. I missed his IP farm, but he's equipping. And we'll see a jelly fight there shortly. It's going to be a little bit more interesting here in terms of setup, because they both Mike, and Eve not have the same characters. Therefore, I believe Mike also equipped both deadlies, so both Artie and Selen for him are not going to be equipping any sort of weapon. Also,
And we get M-Form Darby.
points, very nice.
I don't know if I've ever seen this right for M-Form Darby before. This is interesting for me.
It's yet another Pyramid Dragon. I'm not sure if Eve even farmed the fruit or if she wants to go for the fruit. But
I think Eve was farming for it. I don't know if Eve actually got it though.
Yep, there's the jelly fight for Mike. All very well in time, so I think he's also gonna get a couple of points here from finishing below the 2-hour mark. For Eve, we still have to see. But seeing as she's done with the IP farm already, that should probably work out as well.
We got the Gorgonarok, Mythblade, and the Decker Blade. That's so many fractionals. Gonna be very low on HP just after one turn.
A lot of fractionals. All the fractionals. Yep, there's a black eye being used.
Worth noting that the Black Eye is a physical attack, so it is a one that you want to use in the front row. That is something they have to consider when doing the jelly fights. Is magic attacks perfectly fine to use in the back row, but as far as like the physical attack IPs, you want to use those in the front row if you can.
Yep. Your turn for Mike now. It did not counter damage. Not worried yet. Last attack.
Okay,
that's a
let's
kill.
go. We got 2 kills.
Nice. GG to Mike. I'm not sure if Eve's screen is stuck, but she's been looking at this scoring rock a long time now.
Maybe just watching Mike's spike moves.
Yeah, perhaps. I don't think she's supposed to, but
I don't know. Maybe, I mean, I guess we appreciate that we can watch both fights. That's fine with me.
that's fair. Fair. To be fair, it doesn't say anywhere in the rules that we can't watch each other.
I want to know what that fatal blow was for Eve.
Again, the scores are not final yet. You will see Travictox's score right now is higher than Mike's, but while Travictox is probably already done, Mike's score is still gonna increase. So oh yeah, but now Mike's score is higher. Probably means that he pointed outscored Traffic Talks. The end.
There's the Cancer Rock. I think the only one we saw this run doing work.
The only one. And that's going to be a couple of huge extra points for Eve as well. So Eve the last to finish the jelly fight here. Let's see. And there's
Let's
the
go.
kill.
3 kills. That's you love to see
GG.
it. 3 runners getting to the jelly and all of them getting a kill. That's
Exactly.
good. That was a good run. Good race.
Yep. So again, we're gonna see a lot of calculation here. Traffic Talks is 133 points, probably locked in. Mike still has a couple of points to go, I would guess, and also Eve at the same time. Eve finished again at 7 minutes 11 seconds, I assume. So that is 2 extra points for Eve. Either 2 or 3 extra points for Mike from finishing below 2 hours, I mean. And everything else completely depends on the loadout. Last time to check, perhaps, now that all the runs are done. Check out the rules page for yourself if you want. But yeah, they're basically going to count the Cancer Radar and Gorgon Rocks. They got the capsule fruits, whether characters can be fully equipped, then the amount of miracles, and blue chest items, of course. Yep.
What happened to Vidoof? Sass in chat. Very unfortunate Gold Gorom fight.
Yep.
Yeah, this is gonna be so close. I'm really curious to see the score.
Yep.
I'm so glad I don't have to do the
math. There was a
math.
shower of Gold Gorom attacks, I dare say. Yeah, and of course, while we have not even concluded this round, stick around for the finals. They are right after. The winner of this round, which looks to be either Mike or Eve, will advance to the finals, and we will, not quite yet, but a little bit, take a short break and get everyone ready. Tech setup-wise, it should take more than a couple of minutes, and then hit you up with another 2 hours of cave race for the finals. We are looking at, let me look at the lineup, which we had here earlier, but now I have to find for myself. I know that the Wildcard runner is going to be in there. I know that Dank Meats is in there, Jaros is in there, and one runner who escapes me is Colliaris. So that is going to be the 4 players facing each other. Still with the same rule set. So looking at it now is not a wasted effort. Yep. At this point, I do wonder what the gambits were for this round. I know scorekeeping is busy, but maybe everyone else wants to take a guess. Because I don't think I've seen a lot of telltale signs here, other than the points total is changing.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if I recall correctly, I think I remember hearing that all the seeds for Fatal Blowout will be available for anyone to run when the event is over?
Yep, that should be it. He said he's going to post them in the channel. And then you can, when you have the seed name, you can go to the ROM patcher and patch your ROMs that way and run it.
So much mathing. This was such a good race. I'm so happy I was able to commentate it.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, now that everyone's here and listening to us, GG to all the runners as well. Successful or otherwise, this was a great race to watch. And it still is a great race to watch since we haven't concluded it yet. You know, this still is not quite anyone's game anymore, but
I just want to I want to know what the runner's thoughts on the Archfiend hallway was. That looks so terrifying.
yeah.
Yeah, apparently Mike got some really good drops. I didn't realize that. 141 points so far. That's a lot of points. Is that the most we've seen so far? I don't remember what the scores were from the previous weeks.
I don't remember either, but that's a chunk of points. Scores are final.
Scores are
I just
final.
rechecked.
Okay.
So that means Mike takes it away with a whopping 141 points. Definitely GG to Mike, and that means Mike will join our 3 racers in the finals.
Real quick, if anyone's still in there, how many old swords did you find? I just want to know. It's not important at all. I just want to know.
Imagine old swords being extra points, but I mean, it's got the same number, I assume.
Was it 5? It felt like 5 for Travatalk. There was so many.
Yeah, I wouldn't even be surprised if it was more than that. And the 2 myth blades and and also drop apparently from Mike. Oh wow, that's a 1% chance as well. Very nice. Yeah, nice. So Eli, get yourself in here. What do you think of all this?
I'm happy to have myself in here. This is a ridiculously fantastic finale to the wildcard round. Easily one of the hypest runs of the entire thing. For it to come down to a post triple jelly clear scorecard triple check to figure out exactly who advanced, and looking how tight the scores are. This is the second time even Mike have had to have point review at the end of the match to determine which one of them would advance around. It's absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to bring the other runners in here, but thank you, Kodama and Real Critical. You guys have been phenomenal on the microphone, and issuing commentary has been nothing short of a treat listening to you two. And
thanks, it's been a great race to watch. It's been inspiring, you know.
It was a heck of a round, and everybody else, Eve, Mike, Travatalks, and Voods, you guys are all here in chat. Congratulations to you all. You all gave us a heck of a run. Voods dying to Gold Gorums was unfortunate, and that was close. That was a super close death. I think you were robbed out of that. I think that if you had been given the ability to proceed, you would have been able to score a Jelly Kill 2 out of this, and it would have been an incredibly hyped finale for all 4 of you. But even so, it was still a great run, and you guys showcased wonderful movement, great techniques from Archfiend, bouncing and positioning to just all sorts of other things that new runners and people who were in here in chat who may not be super familiar with the game can look at and say, yeah, these are definitely experts that ran the show.
Yeah.
So I'm going to put it on break now, so that way we can go ahead and get things prepped up for the next round, which will be the finals for the event. Mike deserves a great break. He will be advancing on, as you've seen in chat. And we'll also have runners Calieris, Jaros89, and Dank Meats jumping into the fray as well. So go ahead and hit a bathroom break, go grab a drink, a popcorn, whatever you feel like you need, because in about 20 minutes we'll be kicking off the finals, the Fatal Blowout 2024.